All right, everybody. Good afternoon. It's been a crazy week. I'm Ernest Bethea, the last outlaw. Welcome to Bethea'S Byte Reloaded. Apparently, my intro is just stalled after a 5-second countdown. Anyway, we got a lot to get to. I mean, a lot. Um, I'm gonna button my window down just to get a hold of my missing persons file real quick because again, like I said, we've got a lot to get to today. And the last missing person. All right, here we go. All right. Now let me pull her case up. And you can follow this along with me. All right. Just give me just a brief moment more. And now we're cooking. All right. Look at your screens, ladies and gentlemen. This is Khadijah Rose Britton. She's been missing out of Covello, California as of February 8th, 2018. So everybody in the Covello, Mendocino County, and San Francisco areas, please listen up. You may be able to help bring this young lady home. Khadijah was born April 22nd, 1994. At the time of her disappearance, she stood 5 feet 8 inches tall, weighed 159 pounds, with brown hair, brown eyes. She is Native American. Here's the details. The FBI and the Mendocino County Sheriff's Department in California are seeking any information from the public that may help locate Khadijah Rose Britton. She was last seen at her residence in Covello, California on Friday, February 8, 2018, while being forced into a car at gunpoint by her ex-boyfriend. The FBI is offering a reward of up to $10,000 for information leading to the arrest and conviction of the subjects related to the disappearance of Khadijah Rose Britton. If you have any information on her disappearance, I beg of you, please do not hesitate. You're being asked to contact the Mendocino County Sheriff's Office at 707-234-2100 or the FBI San Francisco Division at 415-553-7400. You can submit your tip anonymously at tips.fbi.gov. But whatever you do, if you see something, please say something. Let's do all we can, San Francisco area. Let's bring Khadijah Rose Britton home and bring her home safe. Now that we got that portion out of the way, now let's get to why we are here. We got so many things to cover on this day's edition of Bethea'S Byte Reloaded, and I am about to pull all these articles up right now. Oh boy. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Now we're starting to cook. Let me guide you on to our first story first. We just got word last week that a woman who was convicted of abandoning her newborn son in a freezing dumpster last year, she is going to be released pending an appeal. Remember Alexis Avila? Of course you should because we have a case that followed hers this past earlier this year, almost like it, but with a difference. We'll talk about that in a minute. But according to the article from Law and Crime, a 19-year-old woman in New Mexico who was convicted of intentional child abuse resulting in great bodily harm for trying to kill her newborn son by stuffing the child in a trash bag and tossing him in a dumpster last year will be getting out of prison as she awaits the result of her appeal. New Mexico Court of Appeals judges Jane B. Yolen and Christina Bogardus on this past Wednesday issued an order granting Alexis Avila's motion for release pending an appeal, which will allow her to be released from incarceration under the same conditions she was under prior to her conviction. That's according to court records re- reviewed by Law and Crime. Avila was also convicted of attempted first-degree murder, but those charges were merged into the child abuse conviction. She was sentenced to 18 years in prison with 2 years suspended and credited with 475 days for the time she spent on house arrest. The appeals court reversed a district court ruling issued less than a month ago in which Lovington District Court Judge Elrin A. Cortez rejected Avila's request to be released while her case played out in the higher courts. An Albuquerque, New Mexico NBC affiliate KOB reported this. Cortez denied Avila's motion on September 27th. The appeal was based on 6 issues, including whether the evidence presented to the trial court was sufficient to find that the offense and subsequent harm could be designated as a serious violent offense, and whether there was sufficient evidence for a jury to find Avila guilty of child abuse resulting in great bodily harm. Other issues on the appeal include the trial court's jury instructions, expert witnesses, and venue. According to a copy of the ruling obtained by Albuquerque CBS and Fox affiliate KRQE, the appeals court reasoned that Avila was not a flight risk and can safely be released to house arrest, which she was on for more than a year after posting bond following her initial arrest. The appellate judges also said that based on state law, they are optimistic about Avila's chances of being successful in her appeal. The decision reportedly states that her appeal raises a substantial question of law, likely to result in a reversal of an order for a new trial. The state Supreme Court has not announced a date to hear Avila's appeal. As previously reported by Law and Crime, officers with the Hobbs Police Department and Emergency Medical Services personnel on January 7, 2022, responded to a 911 call about a baby being found in a dumpster in the 1400 block of North Thorpe behind a Rig Outfitters and Home store near the state's eastern border with Texas. Upon arriving at the scene at about 8 p.m., first responders found 2 males standing near the dumpster and a female sitting inside a vehicle holding the baby. That's according to Hobbs interim police chief August Fonz during a news conference after discovery. Authorities said the baby was wrapped in a bath towel that was dirty and wet and had dried blood on him. and the umbilical cord was still attached. EMS rendered aid before rushing the child to a local hospital for treatment shortly after arriving at the facility. The newborn was flown to Lubbock Hospital in Texas for more specialized pediatric treatment. The three people who found the baby told investigators that they were looking for anything of value that may have been thrown away when they heard crying coming from a black garbage bag, thinking it was a dog or a cat. They removed the bag only to discover the newborn. The female then took the baby into the car and held him to keep him warm while one of the men called for help. Investigators then obtained surveillance footage from the owner of Ring Outfitters, which showed a white four-door Volkswagen Jetta pulling into the nearly empty parking lot and stopping in front of a line of three large green dumpsters at approximately 2 o'clock p.m. A woman exits the driver's side door and opens the back passenger door. She then grabs a black bag from the back seat and throws it into the open dumpster farthest to the right before getting back into the vehicle and driving off. The incident took less than 30 seconds, but based on the footage, Fawn said the baby was in the dumpster for approximately 6 hours. The Lee County District Attorney's Office did not immediately respond to a message from Law and Crime regarding the appeals ruling. I gotta say this, guys. If Alexis Avila happens to get off on a technicality, this could very well mean that the case that's about to come after this with Alexi Treviso, somehow she can get off on hers by technicality. And trust me, the difference in these two cases is that Alexi Treviso's child actually died. And again, the last thing that needs to happen is a technicality. I mean, she and the supposed baby's father is already suing the hospital. Guys, I'm trying to wrap my head around it, but as much as I'm trying to, I'm not able to yet. So I guess I'm gonna have to wait and see before we know what's for sure. Oh, let me I do have somebody in the chat watching this, so let me go ahead and do a little give that person a nice welcome, because I am very appreciative of everyone who happens to drop in and just watching this. So to all of you, I thank you wholeheartedly. All right. Now we're gonna move on to the next story that's up, and I will need to pull this up. You can see by the headline here, Sarah Boone appears in court with a brand new attorney. Here's our defendant, Sarah Boone. As you all know, Sarah Boone has been charged with second-degree murder by having her boyfriend at the time stuffed inside of a suitcase and pretty much locked in where he couldn't get out. As it stands, before I even read the article, as it stands, Sarah Boone is now on her 7th attorney. 7. Hold on, before I even go there, if I even go on with the article, perfect. Hold on, let me back up a little bit, guys, and share this piece of video with you as well. Here we go.
Move Ms. Boone to the center seat and swear her in.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you shall give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Welcome back, ma'am. Tell me your name and your date of birth.
Sarah Boone, 10-10-77.
All right. In this case, you were most recently represented by Mr. Bankowitz. I granted a motion to withdraw. We appointed Mr. Hobson, and we set a status hearing today. Mr. Hobson, where do you stand as far as entering the case, and how much work do you think you have to get done to get the case ready for trial?
Let me start. I'll start at the back end, Judge. I would ask the court to set a status for sometime in January. I've had discussions with Ms. Booth before today, and she's okay with that, and I think that would make sense. I've got like a banker's box and a half of stuff I'm trying to wade through, plus the media stuff. So I think that would be the best option we've got right now, as far as I'm concerned.
So I don't have my dates, other than my pretrial and trial dates for next year. I don't have the calendar ironed out.
Okay.
But what I could do is just give y'all a January pretrial date, understanding that you're not representing that you're actually going to be ready to
Right.
announce trial. But at least it's a next point to see how far you've gone, how much further you have to go. My hope would be in January, you'd be able to give the court a realistic estimate of when you would be ready to announce trial.
Yes, sir.
State, are you okay if we handle it that way?
Yes, that sounds reasonable.
I have a January 16th pretrial date. Is that far enough into January, Mr. Hobson?
Yes, sir.
All right, here's what we'll do. We will set pretrial conference on January 16th, trial period January 29th. The one thing I'm going to ask Mr. Hobson is if there are particular problems with the discovery, getting up to speed, that you know about before the 16th, if you could bring those to the court's attention beforehand.
Yes.
So we can at least start working those problems as they arrive, that would be my request.
Okay.
All right,
I would also ask the court as a caveat to indicate that it's a pretrial conference / status conference.
sure. Have the court reflect that I'm setting it for pretrial conference / status for the defense to advise the court how long before they are prepared for trial.
We're treating this as a defense motion against you.
I think speedy trial was waived long, long ago.
4 years on, Judge.
Okay, so I'm just going to court reset it for those dates.
Yes, sir.
Anything else I need to do on Ms. Boone's case today?
Nothing else, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Boone will be returned to the Orange County Jail pending disposition of her case.
Yes,
you.
thank you, Judge.
All right,
That's all I have. Have a good
okay,
day.
have a good day. Ms. Vega, are you ready on Hope? All right, let's call up Hope.
Yeah.
Now, as you saw that that particular case of hers is set for a certain date. And here's the article. Here's the article going with it. Here's your defendant, Sarah Boone. This is courtesy of Court TV. As you've seen from the video. Woman accused of killing her boyfriend by zipping him in a suitcase that appeared at a hearing Monday with her new attorney. Her new defense attorney is at least the fourth attorney to have represented Sarah Boone since her arrest in February 2020. I count 7. Boone is charged with second-degree murder for the death of her boyfriend, Jorge Torres. Boone told police that she zipped Torres into a suitcase, which the couple had been drinking and playing a game of hide and seek that went wrong. Boone initially appeared in the corner of the courtroom, speaking privately with Winston Hobson, the Orlando attorney who was appointed by the court as her public defender. Her previous attorney, Frank Bankowitz, withdrew from the case, saying he could not represent a client who called him a, quote, a dud and a, quote, buffoon. During the brief hearing on Monday, Hobson asked the court to set another status hearing in January to give Boone's latest public defender time to prepare for trial. The judge set a date for January 16, 2024 for a pretrial conference, at which point the defense will be expected to set Boone's trial date. The state had no objections. Prior to Bankowitz joining the case, Boone had a number of public defenders who withdrew from the case, citing conflicts of interest. In a series of handwritten letters sent to the court, Boone has lamented her court-appointed attorneys, including Bankowitz. In one note she wrote, and I wrote, I, as Mr. Bankowitz's client, cannot communicate with him via phone due to him still not activating one of two numbers he's given that do not work. And he keeps giving me different reasons why each time I ask to keep trying. Boone wrote in a letter, that was what she wrote on August 2nd. This has been ongoing for 13 months and counting. Boone's trial had initially been scheduled for October 2nd, but was delayed by the change in counsel. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what to tell you on this one, but Sarah Boone apparently just can't seem to keep an attorney. She just can't seem to keep an attorney because the problem. I think her issue is she wants her attorneys to keep her focus on her case and her case only, but they also have other clients they have to deal with too. So she's not getting the attention that she's seeking, as far as I'm concerned. I guess she feels that her case is the most important. That should be top priority. We'll see how long this one lasts. Next up, we have a man is facing trial on the accusations he shot a bride and a bishop at a wedding just as the couple was pronounced husband and wife. There we go. Oh, you can follow along as I go on with this. The bishop was pronouncing Claire McMullen and Mark Castiglione as husband and wife when shots rang out. One bullet hitting the bride in the arm, another piercing Bishop Stanley Schultz in the chest. Let me take you to the photo of the bishop real quick, if I can. Mm-hmm. That was the presiding bishop at that wedding. The article says the October 3rd, the October 2019 shooting wasn't the first involving the New England Pentecostal Ministries in Pelham, New Hampshire. Just 11 days earlier, the church's pastor, Luis Garcia, was fatally shot in his home in a case that prosecutors told a jury at the start of the trial the day prior was connected to the nuptial gunfire. That's according to the Associated Press. With just a few shots, prosecutors said, Dobieski said in opening statements reported by the AP, the defendant turned marriage into mayhem. From the beginning, police believe the shooting was targeted. People magazine previously reported with Pelham Police Chief Joseph Rourke saying the shooting did not seem to be a random event. Dale Holloway, the Garcia's stepson, was arrested in connection with the shooting after being reportedly tackled to the ground by wedding guests who kept him pinned down until police arrived. The groom's son, Brandon Castiglione, had been arrested before the wedding, charged with murdering Garcia, according to the AP. This August, he was convicted of second-degree murder and sentenced to 42 years for the pastor's killing. That's according to the outlet. The son reportedly attended the church, but law enforcement never determined a reason for the pastor's fatal shooting. Here's Brandon. This is Brandon. People mourning their fallen pastor arrived at the church later that day for a celebration of life ceremony, only to be reportedly turned away by law enforcement investigating the disrupted wedding. The jury watched the couple's wedding video Wednesday and heard from a videographer, according to ABC's WMUR Channel 9 report. Claiming Holloway was the shooter, wedding videographer James Merchant alleged how he pointed the gun at the bishop's upper left chest. I fear for my life, Merchant said. Prosecutors who did not respond to People Magazine's request for interviews by phone and email stopped the video just before the gunman opened fire. Again, here's the this is the presiding pastor of the church who was killed. And it says that during the mayhem, the groom was struck in the head by an object, and the wedding couple, both in their 60s, were taken to a local hospital and treated for their injuries. The 75-year-old bishop, who was in serious condition at Tufts Medical Center in Boston hours after performing the ceremony, according to the Associated Press, survived his injuries. Holloway, who was already serving a state prison sentence of 7.5 to 15 years for assaulting his lawyer, is now representing himself against the attempted murder charges. The 41-year-old has pleaded not guilty to the charges and told the judge that he will argue an insanity defense, according to the outlet. You have heard both the judge and state say that I don't have to prove my innocence, that I am innocent until proven guilty of these charges, Holloway told the jury in opening statements Tuesday. But I can and I will present the actual factual truth just because I am not guilty of these charges. Whew. Nuptials turning to mayhem. One can only hope that when this case goes down, justice will be served and served fairly, because there are so many people who are looking for justice out of this whole thing, including the newly married couple. Our next story, speaking of people who are seeking justice, I'm going to set this up, and I want you to picture this. As you can see on the screen, a man is on vacation with his family in Florida. Never expected that he would be on the business end of stab wounds and the end of his life. But that's what happened. The body of David Rainey found in a canal behind a house he and his family had rented hours after he vanished in 2021. For 2 years, authorities sought tips in the killing of a Florida man whose body was found submerged in a canal during a weekend getaway. In the summer of 2021, 52-year-old David Rainey of Palm Coast was vacationing in Suwannee with his wife Cindy and their children and a family friend. Jeffrey Sawyer in a house they rented for the weekend. That's according to the Dixie County Sheriff's Office. On the morning of July 25th, 2021, Cindy reported that her husband of 21 years was missing. Cindy told deputies that her husband walked away from the rental house on Saturday evening after the couple had gotten into an argument. David left without his glasses, wallet, and cell phone, the sheriff's office said. After an extensive search of the area, deputies located David's body that night in the canal of the backyard of the rental house. He had been stabbed multiple times in the chest and was placed in the water after he was killed. His death was ruled a homicide. Now, more than 2 years after his death, on October 25th, 3 members of David's family, his wife, and 2 sons, were arrested in connection with his death. Investigators with Dixie County Sheriff's Office traveled to Burnell, Flagler County, and arrested Cindy and son Bailey Rainey. Then they traveled to Orlando and Orange County to arrest the other son, Jack Rainey. All 3 are charged with tampering with evidence. Police have not released a possible motive in David's slaying. They have not said who is suspected of killing David. Born in Redlands, California, David became a welder and mechanic on steam and gas turbines, according to his obituary. David traveled all over the United States and the world for his work. He was respected by his peers for his excellent skills, work ethic, and dedication to getting the job done right. The obituary continues saying that David was a natural athlete and loved that his son shared his talent. Both boys have been active in baseball, starting with t-ball and continued through the high school varsity baseball program. It adds that he enjoyed traveling with his family to places like Alaska, the White House, and New York City. A GoFundMe launched in David's honor asking for a charitable donation to be made to his sons, Bailey and Jack, for their future. It raised $475. Cindy and Bailey are being held without bond at the Flagler County Jail. Jack is being held without bond at the Orange County Jail. It is unclear whether they have retained attorneys who can comment for them. So he is found submerged with stab wounds in 2021. That much we know. That much was certain. This is a shot of David with his sons here. And we felt we already got the details as to what happened, but there's some other things that was known. These are the 5 things to know about that case. First, it tells us that David left the vacation home after an argument with his wife. Before he was found dead, David was reported missing by Cindy on July 25th, 2021. According to a statement from the sheriff's office, Cindy told deputies that her husband had walked away from the vacation house they had rented after they had gotten into an argument. David left the home without his phone, glasses, or wallet.
Did you take some of these?
As I mentioned earlier, he was found in the canal with stab wounds. Sheriff's office says that after he was reported missing, deputies conducted a search of the area and found his body that night in a canal in the backyard of his house. He had multiple stab wounds and had been placed in the water after he died. Death was ruled a homicide. Now, yes, I mentioned that they have been that Jack Bailey and Cindy Rainey have been charged, but neither one of them has been charged with murder. They've been all charged with tampering with evidence, but no one's been charged with murder in connection with David's death. As mentioned, Cindy and Bailey were arrested, and they are in the Flagler County Jail without bond. Jack was arrested in Orlando, and he's in the Orange County Jail. It's unclear whether either one has retained attorneys, and police have not revealed any potential motive or suspects in David's murder. I mentioned a GoFundMe to benefit the sons who are now charged. They raised only $475. And according to the obituary, David was a welder and mechanic. He was respected by his peers. Bottom line is, there's a lot going on. There's a lot that meets the eye, and there's a lot to keep an eye out for. There's a lot to keep out for. So I'm gonna keep track of this case, and I will report back to you when I get more information. Thanks, babe. And now, one for the Justice Served file. This is one I've been waiting to drop on you guys because, like I've always said, Bethea'S Byte is all about getting justice, and this one ranks high among this. The headline is like, mwah. A man gets 100 years for accidentally killing his 8-year-old daughter while trying to shoot his 18-year-old son. 66-year-old Tony Velez flew into a rage when he thought he was being evicted from his home, according to authorities. Now, I want you to take a look at the picture on the right. That's the 8-year-old that was shot and killed by this man right here on your left, Tony Velez. A Montana man was sentenced to 100 years in prison for intentionally shooting and killing his 8-year-old, for unintentionally, I should say, shooting and killing his 8-year-old daughter while firing shots at the girl's mother and son. 66-year-old Tony Luis Velez of Helena learned his fate on Wednesday when Lewis and Clark District Court Judge Mike Minahan handed down the sentence. In September, Velez pleaded guilty to one count of deliberate homicide, according to station KTVH. He was initially charged with one count of deliberate homicide, 2 counts of deliberate homicide, and 1 count of criminal endangerment, according to the outlet. Velez was arrested on July 10th, 2022, after he killed his 8-year-old daughter, Ariana Velez, when he flew into a rage, according to authorities. Velez believed that 2 women had come to his house to evict him, and he lost his temper, according to court documents. He grabbed a gun from his bedroom and began shooting. He told police he shot his partner, Heather Hall, until she fell to the ground. He then began shooting at his 18-year-old son. He missed and instead shot his daughter in the back as she was trying to run from the gunfire. That's according to Helena Police Department Sergeant Adam Shanks. Ariana was standing on the back deck at the top of the stairs when she was struck by one of the bullets, which caused her to fall off the deck. She was rushed to the hospital where she was pronounced dead. He felt justified in trying to shoot his partner and son, Shanks said from the witness stand. I don't think he initially realized he had shot Ariana. Velez's attorney asked for a 40-year sentence. District Attorney Kevin Downs recommended a sentence of 100 years, which the judge found appropriate and warranted. I just can't believe being evicted would justify picking up a handgun in that small of a space with children present, the judge said during the sentencing hearing. He engaged in dangerous behavior that put everyone's life at risk and intended to bring harm to the adults present. Velez appeared at the hearing via Zoom. Ariana's mother is still mourning her daughter's loss. The day Ariana died, so did a part of my heart, Heather Hall said. I feel lost. I don't know what to do. It's a never-ending nightmare of pain. Night and day, it's this prevailing thought that she died and I lived. Velez, who will be eligible for parole when he is 91, apologized for his actions. I'm sorry for all this. I can't undo what I've done. The pain and misery will last a lifetime, and I'm sorry for that. Now, I'm no mathematician, but the guy is 66 years old. He's sentenced to 100 years in prison. And he's eligible for parole when he turns 91. I'm just throwing this out there because I don't know. But he might be able to make it to his parole hearing. God willing that he gets there. God willing if he lives to see age 91. But if he's denied his parole, he is not getting out. If he does get out on parole, he won't have much of a life left. So either way you slice it, the guy's done. The guy is done. And to me, no matter how you look at it, that's justice served. That is justice served. Now, I want to do a little commentary. I didn't schedule this, but I want to do a little commentary on a story that I brought to you last week. The story I brought last week sickened me to no end. So let me go ahead and first bring you this trigger warning. Right? And then bring you this notice Right? Now that we got that, out the way. Last week I brought you a story about a 6-month-old girl who was left at a daycare. Okay, I don't have that. I don't have that photo on me. That might be a good thing. She was left at a daycare, and one of the workers there burned her left hand. And the only thing she could say as she heard the baby cry out was, "Good job." Good job? Really? The baby's crying, and all you can say is, "Good job." When I got offline yesterday, or should I say last week, everybody that I talked to about this particular story, I said the same exact thing I'm saying here today. The woman who was charged in this deserves to be charged, because what she did to that child, no 6-month-old should have to endure. Oh, wow. How you doing, Mama Bear? Good to see you. I was doing a little commentary that about a story that I brought last week. As I was saying, no 6-month-old child should have to endure the pain and the agony that this 6-month-old did. No parent should have to go through that very same pain and agony that her child is going through, or his child is going through. I said when I went offline, I was talking to everybody that that listened to this story. Victoria Salter, yes, she's charged with this. I totally agree with that, and she should be charged criminally. But I also said that I also believe this with my whole heart, that the daycare facility should be charged civilly, and I'm going to explain why. When they hired Victoria Salter, and they claim that they have a strong vetting process, apparently that vetting process wasn't strong enough, because they knew when they hired this girl, and I'm calling her girl because personally I'm 20 years older than she is. They knew she already had a criminal record, and they hired her anyway. Let me say that again for everybody in the back, for just in case they missed it. They knew she had a criminal record, yet they hired her anyway. on top of that, if I could, oh my God. Okay, I'm what I am able to share with you is our defendant. This is her. This is Victoria Salter. This is the 27-year-old woman who took a 6-month-old baby's hand and deliberately burned it in a bottle warmer. In a bottle warmer. I'm only pulling the article up just so you can get a look at the damage this has done. Look at that hand. Look at this hand. Her doctors say she might lose range of motion in that hand. Now, if you're thinking like I am, the first question that pops in your mind is, who could be this cruel? Who could be this cruel? There's your monster. That's your monster. But like I said, let's see. Mama Bear said, depending on the past charges, if they really consider her a threat when hired. I'm not sure on what cases you're covering today, but most employers sometimes check. No, this is going back. This is going back to a story I covered last week, Mama Bear, and it's still gets me riled up. Oh wow, 1,000%. Oh, I believe you 1,000% on what you. Yeah, I would be in jail. What the hell was she thinking? Or wait, she wasn't thinking. Let me get some sense in her head. See, now here's where not only do I agree with you on that, Mama Bear. Hear me out when I say this. I said this a little bit ago. I'm glad Victoria Salter's being sought in the case civilly, but that daycare facility should be charged civilly. Victoria Salter is being charged criminally. In fact, if I read the article correctly, Give me 1 second to find what the official charge is, and I can tell you. But let me think. Okay, there it is. She is charged with second-degree cruelty to a juvenile and that's because she was the child suffered second-degree burns. And on top of that, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. All of them should be liable for what damages that occurred. That's exactly what I'm thinking. The facility should be charged civilly, as Victoria Salter herself is being charged criminally. Now, here's the thing with Victoria's case in chief. If she's convicted, she could spend 40 years in prison. And well deserved too, considering the baby's hand. She put it in scalding water in a bottle warmer. That bottle warmer can get up in the temperatures as high as 194.5 degrees. 194.5 degrees. That's literally steps off from the boiling point. But apparently, while the facility is saying one thing, the actions are saying something totally different. You're right. Some of those things can get hotter than 194. Some of them might actually reach the boiling point and beyond. All of them should be liable for damages. Yeah. Should have been upgraded. If the damages had been a lot more, then yeah, I can see it being upgraded to a more stringent charge. All I can say is this, and it still irks me. I'm gonna keep a close eye on both of these cases. The case that hasn't been formally filed yet in civil court, and this criminal case that is before us now. Bottom line, if you're gonna leave a child in a daycare facility, parents, make sure everybody there, top to bottom, is credible. What do I mean by credible? I mean that they will make sure that your child is in good, capable, caring, loving hands. Making sure that everybody in that facility is trustworthy enough to take care of the needs of your child for the few hours they have them. Anything less is a criminal and civil lawsuit dying to happen. That's my story on that one, and I'm sticking to it. All right, everybody. I want to thank you all for joining me this afternoon. If you missed it, please, I encourage you to catch the replay. And you can always get a hold of me on Facebook, X, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and email. I look forward to seeing you. I look forward to doing this all with you again. I want you to take the time to be good to yourself, be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and if in the words of Kelly Clarkson, have a great day, and if you can't, try to change it. I'm Ernest Bethea, the Last Outlaw. Thank you so much for joining me. Let's do this again. Hopefully, same time, same place. Hopefully, at the top of the noon hour on the weekends. Again, I look forward to seeing you. Until then, you guys know what to do from here. Bite this. Hey guys, this is the Last Outlaw saying thank you to all of you who watched this video and subscribed to Bethea'S Byte Reloaded, your drama-free true crime destination. I couldn't dream of doing this without you, so thank you. Did you enjoy this presentation? Are you looking to get more information on everything presented here? Are you looking to give more feedback on this presentation? Here's what you can do. Like this video. The more eyes on this video, the more this information is spread to others, which brings us a step closer to justice served. Share this video to your social media. Just like dropping a like, the more eyes on this video, the closer we get to justice served. Drop me a comment, whether it's on the topic or the presentation. I am open to all comments, whether it's a theory, a speculation, or a suggestion. I will respond to all. If you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Hit the subscribe button to show your support of this little true crime engine, powered by you. Set the notification bell to all for future videos. Be sure to follow Bethea'S Byte Reloaded all over social media. At Bethea'S Byte Reloaded True Crime on Facebook. At EKB316 on X, formerly known as Twitter. At Bethea'S Byte Reloaded on YouTube. At EKB316 on Instagram. At King of Hearts 316 2021 on TikTok. You can drop me an email as well. The address is kingofhearts316_09 at outlook.com. This is your home for news without the drama, where your opinions matter, for lively debates, where your voice is heard, and above all else, justice served. This is Bethea'S Byte, and it's reloaded.